Hello, everyone. This is the NRI podcast. Four people are listening at least. And I have my good friend and stand up comedian and the person who knows a lot of things, Manvir Singh, with me. Hi, Manvir. How are you?
How's it going?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming, actually. This is our third episode. We had episode with Neil Nadkarni. You may know him, right?
Yeah,
Neil,
we performed together actually.
yeah,
Times.
Neil, and then Rini. I don't know if you know Rini.
I don't think so.
Rini was part of the Bollywood Boulevard.
Okay.
So I don't know if when you perform with Neil, you perform separately or as part of Bollywood Boulevard.
No, we had some other company had hired us, and
Okay.
he did his singing, and I did my
Oh
comedy.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. So I did with him. So Manvir, I have your information. Not that I don't know you, of course I
Right.
know you. So we used to be together in MBA,
Right.
right? So we were like in like 3-4 classes, right?
Yeah, a bunch
Bunch,
actually.
right?
Before
Yeah.
COVID hit. And
Yeah,
then-
we were going. And I think half of the people were Indians.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it was good because I think I know that I used to go drop you off at a station, so it's a good time.
You were my Uber.
Yeah, Uber. Yeah. And then at that time, actually, after that, COVID hit,
Right.
and then we stopped. I think then all your classes were online, my classes were online.
Oh, you were my only friend, I think.
Yeah.
We met
Yeah.
and
Cool. In front of me, guest detail, started my professional career working in finance, and then started thinking I need an outlet in my life, so I started stand-up comedy. I know that your stand-up comedy videos have a lot of views.
right.
I know that, and I think a couple of people also got offended, which we'll talk
Oh
later.
yeah.
Been on a few radio shows, Sirius XM shows all over, hosted MC parties, did one acting gig for a web series called Diwalovin, which is Diwali plus Halloween. I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I actually I didn't watch this.
I still don't think it. I don't even know if it's publicly available. I still have to talk to
Oh.
the producer to see. I know it's in a lot of like independent festivals.
Okay.
But I don't know if we
Okay.
released it publicly.
Okay, this is like a web series. So
Right,
web
right.
series usually should be on some streaming platform, no?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. I
Yeah.
honestly don't even have the information
Yeah,
on where, which
yeah,
is a bad. I should know where
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can watch my stuff.
I know. I feel like, see, the problem is that if you release on YouTube, then you don't recover your money,
Right.
right? And then Netflix and all other like platforms, they have minimum requirement of
Yeah.
production. It must have some value, you know?
That's the only reason I'm not on Netflix because of
Yeah.
the requirements.
yeah. But I think stand-up is not a bad idea to shoot stand-up and send it to them, you know?
Right. Right.
I think you never know.
Yeah.
And then we do have every couple of months you have a show, Big Brown Comedy Hour.
Right.
And then this month, actually, you have on April 21st. I think this episode will release after that. But because the problem that I'm seeing here is that there are not like a huge media house
Right.
covering stories of the artist, right? And that's why this is like my small effort to make sure that we hear the story.
And thank you for putting it all together.
Oh, no
'Cause-
problem. Hopefully I'll be able to release this.
Well, half the obstacle is the opportunity, right? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't. People have things, they have ideas, but
Yeah.
there's no platform to be able to release it.
Right.
So
Right.
people
Right.
like you help us do that.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I'm going to start with asking about your childhood.
Okay.
How was Manvir Singh's childhood and where you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in Avenel, New Jersey.
Oh,
I was
Avenel,
born
here.
in Queens.
Oh, nice.
But I moved after I was 3 months old.
Okay,
so
there
I
are
was
two
very
cricket
little.
grounds over there. That's how I
Oh.
know Avenel.
I played basketball.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
I grew up here. So
Yeah.
I
Good.
did-
Good.
So I wasn't as involved in cricket,
Okay.
but yeah, I had a good childhood. My dad and mom. I mean, my dad had worked in the city for the most part
Oh, okay.
before we
Right.
got some 7-Elevens, as a lot of families do.
Oh yeah.
And
You guys have
then-
7-Eleven. I don't know that.
Yeah,
And how about your siblings? How many siblings do you have?
one brother,
One brother. Elder.
elder,
Elder
yeah.
brother. Okay. And what's his name?
Harmon.
Herman and Manvir.
Herman
Okay,
and Manvir, yeah.
Good.
He's
Pretty-
got his life together. He's got kids and everything.
Oh yeah.
We're still figuring
I know
out
he
what we're doing.
he lives in Somerset.
Yeah.
area?
Yeah,
I know.
that's
I
right.
think I dropped you off once.
Yeah, when we all were
That's
at
how I know.
Rutgers
Yeah,
together,
that's how I know. You. I think you decided to stay here. At that
Yeah,
time, you
yeah.
were not married.
That's
You were
right.
not married at the
Yeah,
time.
I think I started my MBA the same year
Yes.
I was getting married, which was
Yeah.
I don't recommend that to anybody, but
Yeah. So you were in what high school?
JP Stevens. So I grew up in moved from Avenel to Edison in about 4th grade,
Okay.
and so Edison was my real introduction to like an Indian community
Oh,
within
okay.
New Jersey.
Okay, that's good. So in Avenel, there are not many Indians, but in Iselin, Edison area. there
Yeah,
are
at least
bunch
when I
of
was
us.
growing up, it was
Okay.
there were a few here and there. Maybe there were maybe there was like one or two other like Sikhs like in the neighborhood, but
Right.
I was pretty much predominantly the only one.
Okay, good. And how was the culture in schools at that time?
Uh, there were some kids who, when you're kids, you're kids, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
see
Yeah.
like a turban or whatnot, you don't know how to react. So a
Okay.
lot of kids were just, this is the first
Making
time they're
fun or
seeing it.
something?
Some people would make fun. Some people would ask me, what does this mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was a kid. I didn't even know what it
Yeah.
meant, to be honest.
And
So
my dad told me.
yeah, exactly. So I put this on every morning, and that's what it is. And then
Right.
as I got older and more mature, then I
Right.
understood the significance and
Right,
everything.
right. No, that's great actually. Okay, and then how was your high school? Any incident from your core memory?
Some of my core memories were actually, a lot of it was with basketball.
Okay.
I think I found a way to connect with other people and
Right,
at a level from like a sports level.
right, right.
And
right.
so there was a lot of mixing with other groups, other kinds of people, whether
Right.
it was Indian, white, black,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We would all meet at the basketball courts together, and we'd all learn about each other, but
Right.
through basketball.
Right, right, right.
And
That's
so that
great.
was a good
I
introduction
think
to different
sports,
communities.
cinema, both are, I mean, two of the main mediums that include people.
Right, right.
Very inclusive medium.
Yeah.
You meet with when you're in school. You over here, I'm pretty sure that you play with a different people.
Right. Right.
right?
And it helped that I was
Yeah,
really good at
yeah.
basketball.
So one of the things, yeah, that's great. Actually, you still play?
We still do, yeah.
I think I saw your videos playing basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not edited. I actually make those shots.
yeah. No, actually, yeah, it must be good. What's your height?
About 5'9" and a half.
Okay, that's not bad. Actually. No, half is important for sure. And one of the things that I observed, right, that I think I had a Chinese friend, and I asked him that in school, who were your friends? And he
Right.
said that he used to hang out with Chinese people.
Right.
Then I also asked a bunch of Desi people here, and they said that we also have like Indian friends more than. So
Right.
why is that? I mean, that I know that not in Addison because
Sure.
Addison is like kind of 50% or 30% Indians.
Right.
But then if you go in somewhere, then if you're only like two Desi people or three Desi people or five Desi people in a class, they
Right.
have their own group.
Right, right.
So why is that? I don't know.
I think it's just comfortability. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't, either they're scared or
Right.
there's just the unknown
Right.
about other cultures and
Right,
other
right.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's kind
yeah,
of common ground, right?
It is. It is common ground.
Commonality.
Absolutely.
And then I think I have one example that it's not just because sometimes, yeah, of course, you're brown and you're an Indian guy and then you're hanging out together. But I saw that when we were in Cancun a few years ago,
Right.
then I know that we relate to all the American people, regardless of their skin, right?
Oh,
White
yeah.
or said, oh, we are American,
Right,
So
right.
you have some common ground that we all came from USA,
Yep.
and now you form your own group,
Right.
So I think
That's
it's
very
not necessarily it's because I feel like commonality or if you have values which are similar,
Right.
that helps.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
you could relate more.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
to your point, like if there's like 3 or 4 Indian people in if there's
Right.
South Asians, but then
Right.
there's Sikhs.
Yeah.
Even within that group, I'll probably go sit with the Sikhs because I know the Sikhs, so there's
Right,
more
right.
commonality there.
Yeah. They're
So,
like-
yeah, you're
and then
absolutely
also, we try to divide the society in as many ways as possible.
Right, right.
South Indian,
Yeah.
South
Some-
Indian Sachin fans.
Yeah, yeah. you could divide it as much as you want. So from a high level, it's just important.
I
what-
said innocently racist.
yeah,
We are innocently racist, right?
yeah.
All right, good. So, and then when did you meet your wife? At what point? She was in your school,
Yeah. So I had moved to Edison around 4th grade. We met around 7th.
studying, and then when the love sparked and step that happened later.
Yeah, that was probably later. Like we've known each other since like middle school, developed a good friendship over time,
Mhm.
and then I'd probably say closer to like college. Was, like
Okay.
we realized like, yeah, okay,
Oh.
you know what? We've known each other for so long.
And then you always studied together.
Pretty much. I mean, we the good thing was we all grew up together. Like me, her, and all of our friends. Like within the same classes,
Hmm.
and because of the proximity, we just all would like study
Yeah.
together, like
Right.
in school or after school.
Oh, so you
whatnot.
guys used to have a group.
Yeah, study
Oh,
group,
okay.
which was probably got us less work done than if we studied alone. But,
That always
So,
happened.
yeah.
And I think you also, I think you did very good thing that when you proposed her, you brought her to the school.
Yeah, 'cause
Right?
that's where we had
How did
first
that
met.
happen?
Yeah. Oh man, you know a lot about me.
Yeah, no, of course. I think you
I
posted.
forget.
You posted.
I did, yeah, and
posted.
we've definitely talked about all this stuff too. So yeah, no, we've known each other for so long, and then there are pictures and everything from throughout our life from middle school all the way to college till afterwards.
Hmm.
So in the proposal itself, I put a lot of different pictures from like
Mm.
our life and then different timelines,
Hmm.
and then proposed in the school because that's where
We met.
we had met.
Yeah. So it was in Addison.
It was Edison, yeah.
Oh,
it was
fourth
actually
grade.
at John Adams.
Fourth grade. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. So
Yeah.
in Addison's school, right? Then high school were in Stevens.
Say that one more time.
Where were the high school? Where
Yeah,
was the high
JP.
school?
Yeah, John Adams was the middle school. JP Stevens was the high
Okay,
school.
high school.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I don't know all the schools there.
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay. And then after that, what was your like when you joined college? Right? What was your finance background?
Yeah. Well, I joined college and then I went to Rutgers, as you know, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do,
Right.
so I just chose the track that was the least amount of years. So medical was already out, so I knew I probably want to do something in business.
Right.
But then in general, I used to help my dad with the 7-Eleven and
Okay.
had some sort of business acumen in general.
Okay. Okay.
So going into that, I knew I had some background there.
Okay, finance.
And that's
yeah.
what I pursued.
I didn't know that when we remember we were in class together in finance.
Right.
We're trying to do like a net present value and stuff
Yes,
like that. We also
yes.
met in Dunkin' Donut here on Route
Yeah,
9.
we used to study till like 3
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah, and we made that cheat sheet and stuff.
Yep, yep.
Right, and we also remember we also said that we can also cheat in the exam.
I don't remember this at all.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
in a funny way. We said that
Right.
if it's A, then do.
Yeah.
If it's B, then.
This was harder to do during COVID. But
Yeah.
yeah, when we were in person, over Zoom, it was very difficult.
Yeah, I know. Over here, I think the education system, I found it completely different than India.
Okay.
Because in India, what happens is that your classmates are the same throughout 4 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you like it's like school. you
Right,
know.
right.
So I have 60 people. I have to see the same 60 faces.
Unless
for-
somebody fails.
Yeah, unless somebody fails. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That used to happen, 1 or 2 people.
Right.
But then you see the same people, and they know each other really well.
That's good.
And you have the same subject. Of course, you have some labs and stuff. We do round robin.
Okay.
But other than that, you study with the same people.
Right.
And there's no flexibility that, hey, oh, I can take this subject in last semester. No.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I kind of
very structured.
Yeah, I kind of like that. But in terms of professors are a little strict.
Okay.
But now they're cool.
Did they hit you?
No.
Okay.
Not in college. Not in
Okay.
college.
Gotcha.
I mean, they just penalize you by calling you in the reading vacation.
Okay.
So when your reading vacation is going, everyone is reading.
Okay.
At home, you're supposed to go in college and make sure that you have 80% attendance.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the only thing. But yeah, a
Gotcha.
little strict. Of course, you need to stand when professor comes.
Oh wow. That's
And then
different.
you are not allowed to bring coffee or any drink
Gotcha.
other than water. Even water, actually. I don't remember bringing water bottles inside the class.
Okay.
You need to go out to drink water.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think that there was a culture difference. I think now it might have changed,
Okay.
but it was, yeah. Okay. So how was your college?
Overall, I mean, it was good. Rutgers is so close to where I grew up. That is
Mhm.
kind of like what you're talking about, where people like, you know the same people over and over through
Mhm.
school and everything. So
Mhm.
some of the cool things were that, a lot of people I knew also came to Rutgers.
Okay.
So we grew our friendship from there.
Okay.
We were all kind of progressed together.
Okay, that's cool.
So from like a social standpoint, that was good. Like it
Okay.
wasn't completely new. I had some people that, we could rely on.
That's great.
And the education system was great.
Right,
so-
that's good. So you still have friends from Rutgers?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Friends from Rutgers, from high school, all the way down to middle school,
Hmm.
including my wife.
Oh, that's great. No, that's
So,
great.
yeah.
I think that your wedding must have been great
Yeah,
because you met all your friends, you invited all of them. So that's
right,
good.
right. And
Yeah.
stressful. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, stressful, yeah. Indian weddings are stressful. Did you guys do wedding in both like rituals, like a Sikh and
Yeah. Yeah,
of
we
the
did
two
both.
weddings?
We did 2 weddings. I had told my wife we could do one, but she said she could wear 2 outfits if we do 2. So we did both.
That's good. And it was at the same time?
The wedding was the same day, and then the reception was the next day. Just trying to
so
do
2 weddings in one day.
2
and
weddings in one
reception
day.
the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
better
great.
that way than trying to do 3 all in one.
Yeah. No,
It's
no.
already Indian Standard Time, so we were already running late for everything.
Right.
So
I had one client and they did like 3 different weddings.
wow.
One is a South Indian style in
Okay.
USA.
Yeah.
One was Gujarati style in USA.
Okay.
And one was South Indian style in India.
Okay.
So they were in India. They came back
Wow.
and they got married here again. They were very stressful because they had
Oh, this is all the same couple.
same couple.
Oh, wow.
Same couple. Not yeah.
But it's 2 people with 3 weddings.
2 people with 3 weddings.
Wow.
Yeah, they do
Okay.
that. And then I think recently remember the Cancun wedding that we did.
Right.
They also did a Malayali wedding in North Carolina,
Okay.
and then a Gujarati wedding in Cancun.
The Indian
couple of
wedding
weddings.
industry, man.
Yeah, and no one wants to compromise. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fine with other wedding. No.
Right, right.
Because I think that's okay. I understand them.
The guy will compromise.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
right. So
But
and
yeah.
then I think they had like a priest. I don't know, priest from Mexico.
Oh,
He was a
wow.
Mexican guy,
Okay.
and he was an Indian priest. He was
Wow.
he was from ISKCON, like Hare Rama Hare Krishna temple. So
Okay.
he knows some rituals.
Okay.
He also had some of the shlokas in iPad,
Wow.
and he was saying them. But he was good actually. I
Yeah.
liked it. You know.
That's his side hustle.
Yeah.
We got the podcast.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now I'm looking at everything. I feel like it's potential. you
Yeah.
know? But then there is so much you could do. So
Right.
you need to skip and trim and then funnel down to certain things.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So what year did you graduate?
From college, 2011.
Okay, and you never failed, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so now we know your age.
Yeah, basically. Everybody, as long as you can do math. All the Indian people already figured it out.
6 years and then
Yeah. That's right.
That's it. 2006. You said
2007 was high school.
high school was 2007. Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you graduated in 11.
2011 for
11. Okay,
college.
okay.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2005.
Gotcha.
You know my age too. I never
Yeah,
failed.
There we go.
Yeah. But
Well, you
only-
also came from India, so
Yeah. Oh, you came from
No,
India?
no, I was saying you came from
Oh,
India.
yeah, I came from
so I
India,
don't know
yeah,
if it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
Yeah. And you speak completely fluent Punjabi?
I wouldn't say completely fluent, but
Okay.
I consciously make an effort, like
Under-
especially at home. and
Understands everything, right?
Understand
You
everything.
understand everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good actually. That's not bad actually.
everything. You listen to something like Diljit Dosanjh or
Oh, yeah,
Sidhu
yeah.
Moosewala and
Oh yeah.
you know,
I think
you know.
he's doing one movie right now. What's the name of that movie? I forgot.
Chamkila. something.
Chamkila. Yeah.
That's
And I
it.
think he and Purnita
Okay.
Chopra.
I forget.
And
Gotcha.
then the director is pretty good.
Okay,
The director is pretty good. Imtiaz Ali.
gotcha.
He made a lot of. I think he's also he's Ali, but I think he's also from Punjab, I believe, because I think there's a
Okay.
lot of Punjabi influence in his movies.
Gotcha.
You know Tamasha?
No.
Tamasha is a very good movie. You should watch.
Gotcha.
I ask all the artists to
Okay.
watch that movie because that is kind of a realization and do what you're good in. So I think you
okay.
should watch now.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that after this.
Yeah. Very good. So and then Manvir, after that, you at what point I know that you got into stand-up comedy, right?
Right.
So what made you go into that field and that direction?
So it was kind of random. I had already started working, as you know, like I had majored in finance in college, and then I had started working at Citigroup,
Mhm.
and then I was working some crazy hours.
Mm.
But then I would go online and see people just doing different things.
Mm.
So I saw people were expressing themselves in different ways, but wasn't really seeing a lot of Indian people doing it.
Okay, yeah.
And then I had a few days off from work, and I thought, you know what, now's a good time as any to start
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah.
So I came across an ad online that said stand-up comedy,
Okay.
and it was almost like fate. I saw it, and I thought, this is something I'm interested in doing.
Right.
And I called up a few comedy clubs,
Right.
and I asked them, how can I perform?
Right.
And they're called bringer shows. So you have to bring a certain amount of friends. They'll pay for tickets.
Oh.
So the comedy club can make money, and
Right.
in exchange, they'll give you,
Okay.
5-10 minutes
okay.
of stage
So let's
time.
say if I'm performing, then I need to bring my 20 friends,
Yeah.
and then they'll pay for their own tickets.
Yep.
And then you have 10 comedians. That's
Right.
gonna make 200 people.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then how was the response in first ever gig that you did?
The first one went really well.
Yeah?
Humble brag.
Okay, okay, good.
And that's the reason why I stuck with it.
Right.
I didn't know how it was going to go. I had a
Right.
few friends come out to support,
Right.
and it went better than I thought, which is why I stuck with it.
Okay. Good.
So first
Okay.
one went great.
No, you're excellent. I've seen
Well.
you once at least, and you're
Yeah.
excellent. You should actually you should try to like make it big.
Yeah.
Because I think you have all the things that you need.
Yeah, and I
That's-
appreciate that because a lot of people haven't seen, especially like sick comedians.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
helps me also stand out a
absolutely.
little
No,
bit.
You'll definitely make it big. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
And then we'll
Okay.
come back to this podcast
Absolutely,
and say,
absolutely.
Yeah, this is how it started.
Absolutely. I think you also worked with Omi Vedya, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What was that? It was a radio show.
It was on, I think it was through TV Asia.
Okay.
I think, and he was doing. I don't think he's still doing that show anymore.
Okay.
But they invited me as a guest.
Oh, yeah?
He was hosting, and they wanted some stand-up comedian, and they had heard
Okay.
of me,
Okay.
and so they brought me in.
Okay.
And
Nice.
he was a great, he was very welcoming, very approaching,
Right,
and
right,
very
right.
humble guy.
Right. He lives here.
I think he was. I don't know if
Okay.
he's in
Yeah.
DC now or where he's at.
He did his no he, as in USA. He lives in USA, right?
I think so. Yeah.
He did that web series. Metro Park.
Yeah, okay.
He's in
I've
that.
heard of that. Oh, okay.
He's in
I've
that.
seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Metro Park. He's in that. I think that he's not a main character, but he's
Gotcha.
a kind of he has a good character, in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I like his acting.
I love it.
He's
I
pretty
love it.
good.
It's very natural.
Yeah, very
So-
natural.
And he put me at ease too when we were coming. It was one of my first times doing, I think, like a live, show
Oh,
on
okay.
camera.
Okay.
And he was great coaching me through
Yeah,
it.
made you comfortable.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, we are gonna take a break,
Okay.
and then we'll talk more about this. And stay tuned.
Sponsored by Lumhe Wedding Photographers, Prestige Health Services, Comfort Keepers, Blue Leaf Technologies, and Afsar Decors.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. I have Manvir Singh, stand-up comedian, MC, and a huge talent in South Asian community with me. Manvir, welcome.
Thank you.
How was the break?
Great.
Short, right? Short, right?
Short, but
sometimes,
we'll take it.
sometimes I want to get to the point where we just take a break for just take break,
Yeah.
so that if you want to put something information in between,
Right.
but continue, because I think if you take break, sometimes you lose the continuity, right?
Yeah, I like the momentum.
Yeah, that's good. So Manvir, I think we started with your first ever gig, right?
Right.
How was your experience? And then people really gave you a good response, and that's the reason you continued that, right? And how did you develop after that, right? So once you started that, people liked it, and then you continued doing that, and you also did emceeing
Right.
later on, right? So your journey from starting as just from one ad to performing, people liked it, and how did you get to the point that where you are right now?
Yeah, so I think I developed a lot of appreciation for the
Mm-hmm.
work and effort that goes into it.
Mhm.
Luckily, my first one went well, so I stuck with it.
Right.
But what a lot of people don't ask is, how did your second one go?
Right.
And my second one was the worst gig I've ever done.
Oh yeah.
Because my first one went so well
Right.
that I got very cocky and very
Right,
full of
right.
myself, thinking,
Right.
this is very easy.
Right.
But the audience was much tougher, very
Right.
different audience.
Okay.
So even if it was the same jokes,
Right.
the people didn't laugh.
Oh, it was the same exact thing that you
It
performed.
was very similar. Like I was new, I didn't have a lot more new jokes yet.
Mm.
And I forgot half the material halfway through because
Wow.
I started getting nervous on stage.
Right. Right.
And I started developing that skill set of like being on stage. How do you
Right.
like think really fast on your
Right,
feet?
right.
So that was a whole process in itself,
Right.
and appreciating the
But
work.
that's
that people
important,
do.
though.
Yeah, you have to go through it.
Yeah,
So
that-
the earlier
that
you
is
go
important.
through it, the better.
Yeah, that's important.
So learn fast, and
Right.
then go from there.
I think it happened to me as well. So I think first when I joined my engineering, we did a Kaun Banega Crorepati.
That's
It
right.
was
I've seen those.
exceptionally well.
Yeah.
People loved it. Everyone knows me.
Right.
And then I was not thinking but I was. Other people said that now we also want to work with you.
Yeah.
So I made I wrote play, and I casted like 10, 15 people in that.
Okay.
And I gave them their lines.
Yep.
And then usually when we were performing only two people, I gave him his line, and I know my lines, and then we used to perform.
Okay.
And there was no rehearsals.
Right.
So those guys were very confident. We know everything.
Yep.
We know our lines. You go ahead. And then we went there on stage, and they had stage fear.
Oh no.
They couldn't perform. They don't know their lines.
Oh no.
And it was like bad experience. And after that, I learned that don't cast many people.
Yep.
Keep it small, be concise, all
Right.
those things.
It's a learning experience. The whole
Yeah.
thing is a learning experience.
Yep.
And you're right. Once you put yourself out there once, people will contact you, right? You start gravitating towards people who want to work with you.
Right.
And that's what started leading me to emceeing.
Right.
People saw I had talent. They saw I had public
Mm-hmm.
comfortability speaking to an audience.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me, well, if you can do that, why not trying emceeing? And I had never thought of doing emceeing before.
Right.
So I did it once for just a family party,
Mhm.
for free, just because I thought it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then through that, people who were there told me, you know what, you should why
Professionally.
not also monetize off of
Yep.
this? Which is never initially the goal,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
doesn't hurt to make money while you do it too.
Absolutely.
And so did some graduation parties then, did some wedding parties.
Mm.
We did a party together for
Yeah.
what was that? The
there
charity
was a
party.
IAGS annual party,
That's right.
kind of
That's
a
right.
Diwali party.
Yeah.
Right. So
And-
that was good. I think that was received really, really well.
I'm glad because
Yeah.
there's very hard to do
Right.
a stand-up gig for audiences that go all the way from like little kids
To the
to like
and then
older generations.
I think you cracked a joke on that white lady. Remember?
Yes.
There was one white
yes,
lady.
Yes, there was
and-
one white lady in all the Indian people. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
And then I think you said something about white people, and then you said ma'am, happy to have you here.
Yeah, yeah. I told her I think she gave us credibility for,
Yeah.
for making this event special by
yeah,
being
yeah,
there.
yeah. And she was very, very welcoming. That's
Yeah.
what I like about these people.
Right, right.
I think people here are very, I love people here because they take it very healthily.
You kind of have to.
Right.
If you go to watch someone perform or do stand-up
Right,
comedy
right.
as an artist, whatever
Right,
it is,
right.
you have to appreciate it in its totality.
Right,
You
right.
can't pick and choose what you like versus what you don't like.
Right, right, right.
So I appreciate that about the audience is,
Right.
if you're going to be offended by something, be offended by all of it, not
Right.
just like one of it.
Right, right, right. And there were some good jokes, and I think the way you wrote was pretty good because see, you covered teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a cleaning lady joke that
Yeah,
you said.
that's
I
right.
don't want to crack it here, but yeah, it's a
Sure.
cleaning lady joke, and then I kind of realized that,
Yeah.
and then there was a Trump
Yep.
going to India, I guess, or Trump doing decoration stuff
Yep.
like that.
It was a little outside my comfort zone because I typically don't do impressions.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That
No,
one,
it was
that one
pretty
went
good.
well.
It came out pretty good.
Yeah.
And then people loved it. The people who were the one who decided that hey, let's bring Manvir. They were very delighted. They told me that they
Yeah.
really liked your work.
I'm glad to hear.
This is pretty good. Okay, so one question that I forgot to ask is that the first gig that you did was that what kind of audience was it? Desi people or all the Desi people?
No, it was
Or-
all
oh,
American people.
Oh,
I
all
just went to a
American.
random comedy club in New York. It was
Okay.
New York Comedy Club actually.
Okay.
That was the name of the club,
Okay.
and it was on a weeknight,
Okay.
and so had no idea what the audience was going to be.
Okay.
So-
Okay. So it's a kind of a open mic that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then how about the second one? The same
Same thing.
Okay.
Completely
same
American
place?
audience.
Same place as well?
This one was this was a different place.
Okay.
This was Broadway Comedy Club the second time.
So I know that there are a lot of in Mumbai.
Yeah.
The stand-up comedy is huge.
Yeah.
There are a lot of clubs, and then people go there, and then they also say that sometimes no matter how good you are, people don't laugh,
Right.
right? And sometimes also vibe. I feel like sometimes.
Yep.
Because
That's
I think
huge.
I did the same thing one time. I performed in a baby shower
Okay.
and in a Diwali party. So Diwali party was taken really well.
Okay.
But in baby shower, my performance was number 15.
Oh.
And I had like 14 performances before me. People were exhausted. They were
Yeah.
tired and bored.
Right.
Then I perform, no one laughs.
Right.
So that happens.
It does. People get exhausted. So yeah, you're right. There's timing of everything too.
Yeah.
So the comedy shows we do, I typically like to go in the middle.
Right.
The beginning, people are getting warmed up.
Right.
At the end of it, for a comedy club, if you're a headliner, it's great, but people are worrying about like filling out their bill, their check, and everything, so they
Yeah.
miss a lot of your jokes.
Right, right, right.
So I prefer to go in the middle.
That's great. And what kind of audience usually is there in New York? I mean, if you want to, let's say, like half of the people are white. What kind
Yeah,
of
I mean, the good
demographics?
thing about New York is you can get a different audience every night. It's such a
Okay.
melting pot.
Okay,
That like
good.
it's good and bad because you don't know what to expect.
Good.
So for a comedian, it's good. It helps you grow because you're gonna
Right.
get a different audience every night.
Right, right,
And you could do the same jokes every night.
right.
One night they can hit. One night you'll completely do terrible.
Yep, yep.
So you just learn to like roll with the punches.
Right.
But
right.
then now we do a couple shows, as you know, where we focus on like the brown crowd, all the way from like Arab to Muslim to Indian and everything. So we specifically also cater to those people who wouldn't come out to an American show. They wouldn't understand those jokes. So now we cater a lot of the material
Okay, that's
every
good.
couple months for that.
It's called targeting and segmentation.
Yep. Yep. Our MBA came in handy.
So and then I think your one of the videos very popular on
Yep.
YouTube.
Yep.
There are many views, right, and organic views, right?
Right.
So and I know that you cracked a joke which triggered some hate mails.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much material you do, and that's the pros and cons of putting yourself out there. You never know how it's going to be taken. One quote that always that sticks by me is, if you don't have any haters, you're not doing something right. So to be authentic to yourself, there's going to be people who like you and don't like you.
Right.
And so, yeah, I did some jokes, and, part of the sick culture was involved in part of the whole
Right.
joke setup.
Right.
And I got more hate mail than I think I would have ever imagined.
It was
on-
real actual emails.
The real actual emails,
Okay.
comments on the videos themselves,
that I saw,
email,
yeah.
everything, on my Facebook pages.
Oh yeah.
People were telling me that, oh, how can you be a sick but also make jokes like this?
Right.
And you start doubting yourself, you start doubting your own energy.
Yeah.
But then when I saw was in the comments, people were fighting on my behalf.
Right.
And they're like, well, he's an artist.
Right,
This
right.
is something
Yeah.
that you have to get accustomed to.
What's the big deal? I mean, and I also saw that it was not offensive. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I'm not sick,
Sure.
but I think people get offended for little reasons sometimes.
Right.
They have to be little healthily, you know.
Right.
Because
Right.
you should be able to take a joke. You didn't make fun of religion,
Right.
you know. It was just a joke, first of all, you are following that.
Exactly.
So you are also part of that joke.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You're not like making fun. If I make fun of Sikhs, then probably might offend someone.
Yeah, it's
You're
very
also
different.
part of that.
Right. and the biggest thing is like if you are offended by something, there's like ways to approach people or talk them through it, or
Right.
you know, maybe tell them why you find it offensive.
Right.
But you know, it's very easy to go behind a screen and
Right,
criticize other people when you're not
Absolutely.
there doing it yourself.
Absolutely. And I think they would understand if they are on stage how hard it is.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
And what really saved me in that whole thing was I was getting mail from kids in India saying they want to
Okay.
be a stand-up comedian one day.
Oh, nice.
So that was a
Nice.
good balance to it. I saw I
Nice.
was also inspiring people at the same time.
That's pretty good.
And so
I think
it's helpful.
I think people in India, right? They crack a joke on they crack jokes on like several topics,
Right.
and then also they also receive this kind of hatred
Right.
from different communities.
Yep.
And it's common, but they know how to live. But sometimes in
Yeah.
India, it becomes like physical threat as well.
Yeah.
You know, over here, email. I mean, what are they gonna do?
Yeah,
They're gonna
exactly.
come to USA to beat you? No, right?
It's a lot of effort.
Right, but over there, they try to, like, you know, they sometimes they have to ask for police securities.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of sad.
I'm not that popular
But
yet.
yeah, but then no, but
But
I think
yeah.
I think that there, of course there is a fine line, you know.
Right.
Of
right.
course, you don't want to like. So freedom of speech is of course subjective, right?
Sure.
Of course, you don't want to disrespect like on face or something, you know.
Right.
But then you should be able to take a little bit. You should be a little tolerant.
At the end of the day, if you can make a joke and you're comfortable to live with it, great. But if
Right.
I've made a joke and I feel uncomfortable with it myself,
right.
I feel like I've crossed the line to myself,
Right.
and that's the only person I'll respect in that sense.
Right.
So,
That's great. And then, so I know. Let's talk also about your career as a professional career in your own field of
Right.
finance, right?
right.
So you used to. So what was your first job look like?
So initially it was all corporate finance, right? So it's budgeting, it's forecasting, it's making sure that banks can stay afloat. So a lot of like stress testing, bank scenarios, all of that.
Right.
And then that transitioned into like business development. So
In-
now,
Okay.
yeah,
It was in New York City.
yeah.
Your job.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you in business development and in business after business development you work how many years in first job over there?
So about like about 5 years,
5 years.
5, 6
okay.
years, yeah.
Okay. And then when did you decide to start MBA?
Unfortunately, around the same time where I decided to get married. But that was around.
Yeah, I know that. I know
Yeah,
that.
because we
yeah.
started together.
Yeah.
It was around 2019.
I think you started after me and you finished before me.
Yeah, but I also don't have kids.
Yeah.
It's
And I think you also wanted to get it done ASAP, you know?
That's true.
You were
Well,
also
COVID
taking
also helped.
Yeah. And
So-
you also said that you want to take some classes during summer as well.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So,
So that's good.
I front loaded a lot of that.
Right. So you got married when you were in college,
No,
or you finished MBA and then you got married?
I got married right when I started my MBA.
Oh, when you started your MBA.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So did both starting in the same
yeah,
year.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that was hectic.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. I was
Yeah.
working 3 jobs. My job, MBA, and wedding planning.
Yeah.
Don't recommend that to anybody.
Yeah. That because I think even in our college, somebody was doing job.
Yeah.
She had a kids, and then she took like 3 classes.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
brutal.
That is
3
brutal.
classes, two are the max as a part time I suggest.
Right.
But then she took 3 classes and she was exhausted. She said
Oh, I
that
can't even imagine.
Yeah, I don't know
Wow.
why she did it. I said, alternatively, you should have taken classes in summer.
Right.
That would have been easier.
Yeah.
But she said that I just wanted to get it done, and then, you know. But
Oof.
sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes
MBA
it-
you can delay, but the kid is already there, so
Yeah,
you can't do.
it is, yeah, nothing you could do. So I did job and everything, you know.
Right.
But
Right.
It happens sometimes.
Makes sense.
Very good. So what's next? So next, what you gonna do?
So it's a great question. Honestly, you can go any which way, right? The main thing is like keep perfecting your craft,
Okay.
and sometimes opportunities will come your way just because you put yourself out there. And so I don't think I've done enough of that yet. So I
Okay.
think part of it is putting my content more online
Okay.
and get seen more.
Right.
Content I had put out previously,
Mhm.
I saw how it spread throughout the different communities.
Yeah.
Some people downloaded my things as like ringtones on their phones and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
Nice.
you find out all these things once you put yourself online.
Yeah.
I actually did a photo shoot with Jiffy. So if you go on the GIF app,
Oh,
people use my
nice.
GIFs to send each
Oh,
other
yeah?
on text.
That's good.
So again,
You search for like Manvir.
yeah, you just search Manvir Singh or like sick comic or anything,
nice.
and you can see all my gifs that I
Nice,
did a
nice.
photo shoot with.
So can I suggest you something? You should
Yeah.
try acting.
Yeah,
I think you'll be great in acting.
I think so.
I think you should do that. Even a music video or you
Yeah.
know, something like that. I know that I'm not sure that you're like because I know that back in '90s all the Punjabis used to sing.
Right. That's right.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure that if you do you know singing.
I'm terrible singer.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I did choir in middle school, but I think that's because they didn't
So
have
guys,
enough people.
all the Punjabis are not singers. Okay.
Yeah,
He's not.
I'm a testament to that. If you don't believe me, just ask me to sing a song, and you'll
No,
know.
but I think stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So if you're a stand-up comedian, then I feel like you could be a good actor.
Yeah.
I feel like because
Yeah.
you have all the qualities to
Right.
face people, confidence. So I feel like you have all the qualities to face the camera because you have that guts.
Yeah.
To go in front of people.
Right.
So I suggest you that.
I
And you
appreciate
never
it.
know. We may work together.
I've done one. That was a
Yeah,
web series
yeah.
for Deval.
How was that experience, by the way?
Really amazing.
Yeah?
My first acting gig, and
Okay.
we were meeting at like 3 a.m. at like airports to like shoot different scenes,
Okay.
and then going to all these different locations. So it was eye-opening to me. I mean, there's a very different process on like
Yeah.
coming up with jokes,
Yeah.
but then
Was it improvisation?
no. So like coming up with jokes yourself for like stand-up is very different, right? Because that could be a lot of
Oh yeah.
improvisation.
Okay.
But
You're
for
comparing.
acting, you're going off of somebody else's
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
So you're trying to adapt to somebody else's character that they've made for you.
Right.
And so that was very different.
Was that in studios or?
I met the writer and producer at a studio.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember how I met her actually. I think I got called for an audition again
Okay.
because I put something online and they said they liked my stand-up
Stand up. Okay.
and they wanted me to act.
Okay.
And so I went in and met her, and then we started shooting. I met her at a studio, and then we started shooting. I think a week or two after that.
Okay. And all the real locations,
Yeah.
for the right.
Yeah, they were
So
all real
do they did they get permission to shoot at the airport and
Yep.
stuff?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
We all had permits, everything.
Oh,
She's
nice.
done a few series for HBO as well. So,
Okay.
her name is Shilpa.
Shilpa. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So she did.
Very good.
So shout out to Shilpa.
Yeah, of course. And I think I would like to learn more about that.
Right.
This web series sitcom for NRIs would be a good idea. I feel like.
Right.
I feel like I can make something like that.
And with your impressions and the skills that you've done,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I've seen too, you
Let's see.
can definitely break
Absolutely.
into
The
the scene.
hardest part is to direct and act both.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
direct and if you act, right, it becomes very challenging.
Right.
Because you are shooting yourself.
Wow.
After you shoot yourself, then you need to check.
Yeah.
Because you need to direct as well, So that becomes very challenging.
That's
So what I
right.
can do is that I can just write and then ask someone else to direct.
That's right.
That'll be better. Because I think if I just do writing part is hardest actually.
Yep.
In terms of amount of time and skills that are required, that's the hardest part.
Right. That's the vision you're trying to bring to life.
Yeah. So I have a couple of ideas in mind,
Amazing.
What I learned in film school is that you should not have many characters.
Mhm.
If you're doing short film or stuff like that, right? Try to
Right.
avoid a lot of characters into that. Try to
Gotcha.
keep it minimum, like 5-6 characters,
Right.
and then develop that. I feel like I can crack it.
Yeah.
But it only requires money. That's the only problem.
We believe in you. I think you can do it.
Yeah. So I think I may need to show my work first and then
Sure.
look for producers.
Yeah.
Give me money
Yep.
and I'll put your name in that.
Amazing. I'll talk to Shilpa.
Something like that. Yeah. Talk to Shilpa.
Yeah.
And that's great. Okay. So Manvir, any last words to your followers, the people who follow you?
I think just don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Right.
If there's something you want to do,
Right.
go for it.
Right.
I live by it, and sometimes I also forget about that advice. So
Right.
it's good to keep telling yourself that every day.
Yeah.
If you don't make something, it means another door is supposed to open for you.
Yep. And there are enough people.
Yeah.
Even Indian people, if you just try to do something in art field, I think
Yeah.
there is a market.
Absolutely.
So you just need to do right things.
Yeah.
And then work on your skills.
If you catch yourself watching social media and Instagram and telling people, "Oh, that's a terrible actor. This is terrible stand-up, whatever,"
Right.
there's a part of it that you should understand that they've put themselves out there. They're working on their craft,
Right.
And they've taken the steps to do that,
Right.
So I respect all artists.
Yeah, and also try to help artists, right?
Right,
If you have a good material in front of you, try to pass it on to your friends.
Right.
I think that's the least you should be able to do.
Yeah, develop
for
that
the
community.
For the
Absolutely.
community. Right. Okay. And from the NRI podcast, we have one small gift
Oh wow.
for you. It's a
That's
customized
awesome.
gift.
Oh, thank you.
I know that only 4 people are watching, but that's okay.
That's all right. I'll take it.
And let's see what it is.
Oh, really cool. All right. Something else to stop me at TSA. This is very- no, I love this. That's really cool.
It's good. So,
Love it.
Manvir, thank you
Perfect.
for coming to my show at our home.
Yes.
And
Thanks for having
thanks for being my friend. I think
Uh,
we've been like friends for like few years now, right?
me. Yes.
And we developed organically. I mean, developed our friendship, and I'm glad that you're here.
Likewise. Thanks for.
All right, guys. Thank you, and then I'll see you guys in next episode. Thank you, everyone.